My sister blew her college money, then showed up broke, and something happened when I said no. Dad sat me and my sister down on our 18th birthdays and handed us 2 checks, $50,000 each. He said, college, a business, training, whatever. But if you blow it, don't come crying to me. One shot. I used mine for state university. I got a big scholarship, saved most of the money, and lived cheap in a basement with roommates. I studied, worked part-time, and spent nights building a small software service. My sister used her money like it was a vacation pass. She flew to Ibiza within days and kept hopping from place to place. Her posts were beach clubs, shopping bags, and fancy bottles. She'd call me laughing, saying I was wasting my life on school while she was actually living. I didn't argue. I just kept working. By year 4, my side project got a real client. By year 5, my company was doing very well. I bought a condo downtown and finally felt like I could breathe. Right around then, my sister's posts stopped. Months later, at 11 p.m., someone banged on my door hard. It was her, crying, makeup smeared, wearing cheap clothes instead of the stuff she used to show. She said, I have nowhere to go. Dad won't answer. Mom locked me out, please. I let her in and gave her the guest room, but I told her it was temporary. She nodded like she understood and promised she'd job hunt in the morning. For the first week, she stayed quiet and slept a lot. Then she started acting like my place was hers. She left messes, ate my food, and got snappy when I asked about job applications. One day she asked for a little cash for rides to interviews. That night I heard the front door at 2 a.m. and knew she wasn't out interviewing. Then my stuff started disappearing. Cash from my wallet, a watch from my dresser. I started locking my office. I even moved my wallet into a drawer. The next day the drawer was half open, like someone had been fishing around. That's when I stopped telling myself it was an accident. I tried to tell myself I was mistaken until I saw new makeup laid out on my counter one morning, along with a shopping receipt. She was sipping coffee like nothing was wrong. I asked, did you take money from my wallet? She didn't even blink. Yeah, she said. You're rich. You won't miss it. I needed a few things. I said, that's stealing. You can't do that. She shrugged. Stealing is harsh. I borrowed it. Relax. I reached into her open tote bag on the chair and saw my watch peeking out. I pulled it free and she snapped, don't touch my stuff. My hands started shaking, but my voice stayed calm. Pack your stuff, I said. You're leaving today. She laughed right in my face. Over a few $100s? Dad would be so disappointed, she said. So I called Dad and put him on speaker. When I told him what happened, he went quiet, then said, let me talk to her. She grabbed my phone and started whining. Dad, he's being so mean. Dad cut her off. Stop. I gave you both the same money and the same warning, he said. Now you're stealing from your brother? Her face went pale. She tried to blame me, but Dad didn't move an inch. You chose parties and trips, he said. He chose a future. He owes you nothing. I owe you nothing. She screamed, you're turning him against me. I took my phone back. Dad said, change your locks tonight, and hung up. My sister threw her bags around, yelling that I ruined her life, that I was selfish, that I was fake. She dragged it out, taking breaks to glare at me like I'd changed my mind. I stood by the door and watched her leave. Then I drove to the hardware store, bought new locks, and changed them before midnight. After that, my phone blew up with texts and voicemails where she cried 1 minute and threatened me the next. I blocked her number. That should have been the end, but she came back the next morning. She sat outside my building crying loud and telling anyone who walked by that I stole her inheritance. A neighbor asked me about it, so I pulled up my bank records and showed the 2 equal checks from Dad. Same date, same amount. My sister saw me do it and snapped. She rushed the door and started pounding again, screaming my name like I was hiding from her. Security told her to leave. She refused. The first time the police came, they warned her and told her not to come back. That night she tried to slip inside behind another tenant. I stepped into the lobby and said, no, get out. She shouted, just give me money and I'll go. So I called the police again. 2 officers came in, asked her if she lived there, and she hesitated. I showed them my lease and told them she'd been warned and kept coming back. One officer said, ma'am, you're trespassing. Step outside. She started crying and yelling that I was her brother, and I had to take care of her. The officer held out his hand. Turn around. The cuffs clicked, and everyone in the lobby went silent as they walked her out. Now my neighbors are judging me for changing the locks. Was I wrong?